Thank you very much. So I'm here to talk about a few different things, but first I'm going to do a little quick intro. I don't know how to use this though. I'm just going to press. Okay. So, perfect. A little about EcoAmmo. So at EcoAmmo, our mission is to accelerate the transition to a resilient, climate-positive built environment by rehumanizing work. So I see that tying really nicely into the Healthy Community Guidelines. Lori's presentation actually reminded me of our building that we were a part of the construction of, so the Mosaic Center. So a lot of those issues she was talking about with stairways and policy and what that looks like to get it into the building codes. We had to go out of our way to make it so that the elevator wasn't the prime focus to go use stairs. So we have a really beautiful stairway. It's a 4-story building, not a high-rise, so there's differences there, but we have a really beautiful wooden stairway. And the idea there and the way the building is constructed is like a bi-level. So it was intentional to create collaboration spaces. So again, getting people out, getting people to talk and know about one another. We're also very proud that we are a certified B Corp and have our JUST label. So we really try to live all these values we get everyone else, encourage everyone else to do. At EcoAmmo, we have 3 main service lines. We're environmental, social, governance, so that ESG and carbon. We do high performance, sustainable building work, so a lot of that green building certifications, and integrated project delivery and high performing teams, so combining that social piece. So we really try and bring our collaborative natures into all of our projects. So some of the green building certifications that we use, and some of the ones I'll be talking about today, are LEED, which focuses on that built environment, so the design and construction and operations of buildings. WELL, and the WELL building standard focuses on the human interaction with buildings. Then we have the zero carbon building standard, which focuses low carbon design, aiming to minimize greenhouse gas emissions from building materials as well as operations. We have BOMA, which is BOMA Best, focuses on energy and environmental performance in operations. Fitwell, which focuses on building health, and then the Living Building Challenge, which is one of the most stringent ones, and that focuses more on regenerative buildings. So the ones I'm going to discuss today are mainly LEED and WELL with a little touch of zero carbon. So this image here is actually from the Healthy Community Guidelines, and I've tried to put in, sorry, I keep looking at my screen here, but where LEED and WELL intersect. So we have LEED and WELL both talk about active recreation. LEED and WELL both talk about active mobility. They both talk about active transportation, and WELL focuses on that social connections and healthy food environments. So it says fit cities, neighborhoods. I know it's supposed to say Healthy Community Guidelines, but I had already submitted. So Healthy Community Guidelines and neighborhoods section. Apologies, Karen. So the project, sorry, give me a sec here, I've lost. I should pay attention to where I'm going. Project location greatly impacts many of the credit features in LEED and WELL, both their programs. So you can get credits for access to amenities, being in a higher density location, walkability, bikeability, access to nature. And these credits and features align with the neighborhoods in the Healthy Community Guidelines, so the goals of that neighborhood section. The neighborhood within this guideline relates not only to planning, but owners and developers can also use this as a guideline to assist them in where their building choice is. So are you close to active transportation? How can people access your building? What does that look like? And how can you continue those bike paths or walkability onto your site to make it more accessible? When looking at the site section of the Healthy Community Guidelines, there are again many overlaps with LEED and WELL. So some of the overlaps also include zero carbon. So that zero carbon building standard in the site plays into this section as well. And basically encouraging an accessible site and a usable site that's safe for all. We're in a winter city, so some of that plays into how are we going to design so that in the winter the site is still accessible and we can have people using it year round. And then the building section. So this talks about opportunities in building design and construction. And we want to think beyond just materials used in the building and look at how the occupants are going to interact with the building. So what can be designed to better people's lived experience within that building and within their workspace or living space. So from here, I'm going to go into a few case studies. So I have 3 case studies I'm going to go over of buildings that we're working on and some of the certifications we're either targeting or have achieved. So the first one is the AUPE, so Alberta Union of Provincial Employees new office headquarters. So this is just off Stony Plain Road. They constructed their new office building, which was complete in 2022, but the LEED certification was finalized in 2023. And the owner was committed to achieving both LEED and WELL certifications. So the design team worked together from the beginning. We reviewed both the LEED and WELL criteria to see what could be incorporated into the building. The focus for the team was a beautiful, comfortable building and site that occupants would be proud to work from. And if anyone's had the chance to tour it, it is evident when you walk through this building. Lots of care was taken in the design of the spaces. So there's a fitness center that actually overlooks, there's windows to the outside, so you can go at lunch break or whenever you have a break and work out in the gym, big open windows. There's co-working spaces with a variety of seating options, as well as acoustic tiles and sound masking, so you can go and take your workspace somewhere else. And there's also, again, that beautiful stairway. So as you come in, there's a beautiful stairway that leads you up to all the floors and levels you need. So all those details combined into making a really beautiful and usable space. And on the slide here, I won't read it all out, but basically I'm hitting the points of what pieces were pulled into the building. So we are close to amenities. We are close to a bike path. It's actually bikeable to a future LRT stop. So there's a lot of places where this is located that will benefit the users and employees and people that will be going to the building. So targeting the 2 certifications is a challenge. GBCI has made it really easier than if there were 2 completely different high-level organizations operating these systems, because they have aligned them fairly well so that you can kind of overlap, and they have crosswalks documents, and they try to make it really easy for people to target both. However, there's still challenges that come up. So there's a couple different levels, say, that are needed. So what we really needed to do was early and ongoing collaboration. So design team meetings weekly, going through the documents, having the owner in the room for some of those, especially the WELL items. We actually didn't do the WELL certification, but I worked closely with the person who was doing the WELL certification for this project. And really mapping out how people can achieve these targets, right? So what are we going to do? What's our plan going forward? How do we meet? Because WELL has requirements for materials and low VOC items in the building, and LEED has them. So what's more strict? What do we need to actually achieve? Because the WELL tends to be a little stronger on that side of things. So you'll see within the owner's guiding principles that they're committed to the end goal of the WELL and LEED certified building. So having owner commitment is huge, especially for WELL, because there are a lot of policies and programs that need to be implemented. And you can see their guiding principle. It's hard for me to read it from here, but it says a WELL building standard and environment, I pretend I don't need glasses. Environmental standards, sustainable and responsible. So all those pieces, this is their guiding principle, their document that they're saying, this is what we're committing to our employees and people that are going to be in the building. So having that really drove them to say, yes, we want WELL and LEED, and that's what we're targeting. So the second case study I want to talk about is the Ronald McDonald House in Calgary. So the owner was very intrigued by the idea of incorporating WELL along with LEED into this building. And they asked us to present on how that would look. So what that would mean for the design team, what that would mean for the owner. So before the project started, we did a workshop with the owner. We presented and said, this is what this means. These are the impacts, because they are, again, larger for the owner when that well portion is included. So this project is currently underway, just finished design and moving into construction. So it is important that this building acts as a safe space for families who are undergoing a tremendous amount of stress. Social connection has been proven to lower stress and anxiety, which I'm sure this isn't the first time you've heard that. Thus, the owner is ensuring there's social gathering spaces and recreation areas included in the building. So not only within the building, there's stuff on the sites and conscious decisions being made to include not just the adults, but the children and teen spaces and things like that, because the people staying at Ronald McDonald House are there to support their family members, and having that place of respite helps them to better show up and care for the family members in the hospital. So why does this work? I mean, we're not at the end of the project, but we're pretty confident we're on the right trajectory here. So again, ongoing discussions, making sure all requirements are captured, the well building standard with that more requirement for owner engagement. So that was all set out before the decision was made. It was, here are the policies, here's what needs to happen, here's how this applies to you, because there is cost and ramifications to implementing these policies. So they don't only need to commit during design and construction, the owner needs to commit ongoing through operations. So the well building standard is, you recertify every 3 years for the well building standard. So it does expire. So you need to be committed to, you don't have to recertify, but showing that commitment to recertify and keep up with those policies and the changing sliding bar, as it were. And then the last project case study I want to talk about is Okanagan College, which is the health sciences building in Kelowna. So this one actually targeted 3 building certifications: LEED, WELL, and zero carbon. Again, all under that one GBCI banner, so it did align nicely. We were able to do a lot of crosswalks, but still had some pieces that require more coordination. Learning environments. So this is a school, a college. We have students in there teaching, so they're the health sciences, School of Health Sciences teaching out of this building. And learning environments have a direct impact on the student's ability to succeed. Having natural daylight, low VOC materials, stair access, good ventilation means the students in the building have a healthier learning environment and which will improve their attention and focus. So physical activity is also another important consideration when constructing buildings or thinking about building planning. So if we can promote active living by designing buildings that encourage movement, a central staircase is a great way to get people moving throughout the building more without them really thinking about moving out throughout the building more. So if you make it beautiful and open and easier to access, then people by default just use it. So a lot of this building has another stairway that's open and accessible to all. Having a healthy building doesn't only help the students' academic performance, it can also lead to greater employee satisfaction. So the people in the room, right? And I mean, if you're a professor in this department, can you imagine if you just had students that were paying attention all the time and were more focused and were doing better? That in itself is rewarding. So why did this one work? I can't say it enough. It's that early collaboration and ongoing communication. So we held a sustainability workshop with the design team to go over all 3 rating systems, how they overlapped, got people to ask questions, flag constraints, flag risks, tell us what their concerns were with these pieces so that we could address them early and really decide which points we were targeting. So we're not sitting here in Edmonton saying to the people in Kelowna, no, you're designing this way and these are the points we're targeting. We all decided those together so that everyone had buy-in and commitment to achieving these 3 goals. We also outlined areas of overlap. So we knew which requirement was the most stringent. So the zero carbon building standard has a few more restrictions in the energy consumption than the LEED building or the LEED rating system does. So we decided where we wanted to go with that and how that was going to work and be designed into the building. And then my final slide, even small positive changes to environment can promote healthier outcomes, lower absenteeism, enhance cognitive performance, and improve productivity and attention span. So, I mean, that's something that even building owners, employers, I feel like everyone wants those things to be true of their occupants and to have people feel happy and engaged coming to work or even in their homes. And that's it. I know I'm probably under.